This is going to be a quick one. I just had a very, very fast thought about the artist's dilemma of commerce and actual art. Because if you think about it, commerce in a way has nothing to do with art or anything. Art is the only type of magical thinking I really have. I don't really believe in any specific religion or anything like that. I think a lot of things are just we don't understand, so we make up stories and shit. But the art is the one thing that truly feels like real magic to me. I love Harry Potter. I was stopping myself from saying I love Harry Potter because of the J.K. Rowling's trans hate and everything. I don't like J.K. Rowling's, but I love Harry Potter. I love the idea of magic, fantasy, magic in this dull gray world. So, as it relates to art, magically, I feel like you're literally taking this abstraction, this like ether, this thing that doesn't exist yet, and as a human, you have the unique ability to take the abstract, take the ether, and make it real, turn it into physical things. Even carpentry is like that. I feel like that's a form of art. Architecture. So I feel like art is a very magical thing, and which is why it's valuable to people, and people will pay money for art. That is a fact. That is true. But sometimes to make money with art, it's almost like you have to dim your light. Like, for instance, I did a remix of Not Like Us in Brazilian funk, and that got like 500,000 views on YouTube, almost. And I got like $500 from Spotify because of it. No money on the YouTube end because they copyright claimed it. But I didn't just make that because I was like, I feel like making Not Like Us Brazilian funk. No, I did not enjoy the process of that whatsoever. That wasn't art. That was manufactured skill. That was just because because I looked up Not Like Us was really popping off, and the genre of Brazilian funk was really popping off. So I was like, okay, two things, combine them together, you got a good viewed video. And that doesn't always work for me because I haven't got my video creation down to a point where I can actually make them good enough to keep people around when I have those realizations about shit. But that was pure marketing. That had nothing to do with art, in my opinion. That wasn't like real art, even though music is an art, and I use my skills as a musician to do that. And I think as artists, we have a responsibility to listen to those quiet whispers from the ether, from whatever place our music comes from. But we also have to fucking eat. That's the dilemma. We gotta fucking eat. But we have a responsibility to listen to that voice and not to let it fade too much because of us trying to eat. I feel like the universe, the ether, doesn't really give a shit if we eat or not, is what it feels like, because it's not gonna give you the best marketable fucking song ideas. You know, it's gonna give you what is true and what is uniquely true to you, and only you can make real in the actual world. So I was just thinking about this whole concept because I do freelance music production, and as much as I enjoy it, I really do. And I've got one client I've worked with a lot, and she's great, and the music is good, and I'm uniquely skilled in this certain genre of music so that we can make a lot of songs, and it's good. It's a really good fit because I grew up listening to this type of music, which is nice. But I was listening to something I produced for this artist, and I was like, I just had this little bit of almost shame, I guess, because it was like, oh, this isn't me, this isn't art exactly. And maybe with her adding her voice and lyrics and stuff, then like it comes together. And maybe in another form that is art, but that's her art, you know. Even though I'm the hands doing the production side, is still that's not my art. And I made something the other day that was really abstract. I don't expect it to get any streams at all, and it was so fucking cathartic. I needed it. I was going through a really bad episode of depersonalization or derealization, whichever. I think it was derealization. And I was really fucking anxious, and I just needed to go inside of the music world. And that pain forced me back into that place of where I used to create from more, which is this direct line from the abstraction that I know I keep saying ether, but that's the only way that I really know how to put it, from the spirit realm. Does that sound better? The fucking spirit realm. Yu Hakusho in this bitch. But yeah, it just got me thinking. If you run away from that voice and you don't exercise the act of listening to that voice, I think it gets quieter. And a bitch is already like real quiet, like, because it's in such a deeper place than we live our day-to-day lives from, you know. Like if you're a cashier, you know, that's not, and there's no shame in being a cashier. I've been a cashier. I'm a fucking purchasing agent now. I'm basically a robot for a company to buy them supplies, and eventually they're not going to need me with AI. So I'm not saying there's any shame in that, but whenever you're doing that, you're not exercising any form of grasping, listening to the voice. And I feel like, unfortunately, because we do have to work and we do have to do these soulless jobs, it keeps us in a semi-permanent state of always practicing the opposite of listening to the voice. It's actually kind of like practicing dampening our light and not listening to the voice or source or whatever, or God, whatever you call it. You know what I mean? You know, we all got our own words for it, but it's the same thing. And I just, I don't know, I just wanted to make this video because that struck me so powerfully. I wanted to make this in case anybody stumbled across it who is struggling with with that type of dilemma. To one, let you know that you're not alone in it. I think most artists feel this way, especially the ones that are struggling to get by. And to also encourage you that even if you do have to do the, you know, whatever your version of a Brazilian funk remix of Kendrick Lamar is, you know, the stuff you gotta do to get by, to get some extra money. Like, even if you have to do that, set some type of boundary around the practice of listening to that deep inner knowing, that voice that is at the center of everything, the God, the universe, you know. You gotta set a very strong wall between you and the normal world so that you can maintain your connection to the music world, the abstract. Rick Rubin called it the place where the music is. I loved when he said that, because I was like, that's what I'm talking about with the ether shit. Whenever he said that some artist, I forgot who, lives in the place the music is. And that's exactly how I feel. I feel when I'm really in tune, I live in the place where the music is. However, that's not very conducive to modern society. But it is what it is, you know. That doesn't mean we can just cry about it and do nothing. We gotta get by, you know. At least we're not like fucking fighting in a war or something, you know. And if you really look at it on a long enough time scale, this is like the best times there have ever been, really. So we have the ability to exercise freedom to a greater extent than we ever really have. So, you know, I don't want this just to be like a woe is me type of thing, but I do want it to be a warning to artists to make sure that you're setting aside some type of time, either every day, every week, at least once a week. Don't push it to a whole month, to really sit and listen to that voice, whatever that means for you. If that's just meditating and trying to connect to source, or if that's like just creating something for the sake of creating. And I think it's really important to do that, to stay in tune with our artistic voice. Because I've been working on YouTube mostly the past like 8 months, and I have written a few songs and stuff, and some of those are true to me and from real experiences, but some of them were really just like I wanted to create something, and I thought I was coming from a place of creating to create, but I was putting the pressure of YouTube and streams into it, and what came out was some NPC cookie cutter bullshit that wasn't what I'm capable of, and it gives me great shame to make things like that. I don't want to do that except for when I have to, and I will continue to do the things I have to do, because I mean, I got a kid to raise, bro. And I'm trying to get out of this full-time job so I can have more time for actual creation. But yeah, that was pretty much it. Just if you're an artist, just think on that, I suppose, and ponder it, hold it in here, just think about it, feel about it, see how it sits with you, and make a decision about it. Set it up in an actual, not obtuse, I was going to say obtuse, an actual physical way in the real world. Set a boundary around